This is the Transportation TV News Update. I'm Tony Dorsey reporting. Some dramatic slow-motion video released this week by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, of what the agency says is the deployment of a counterfeit airbag. NHTSA testing showed consistent malfunctioning of the airbags, from a failure to inflate to a release of metal shrapnel as some of the bags deployed. NHTSA says the airbags, which look nearly identical to certified original parts, were discovered at auto body shops here in the U.S. Go to www.nhitsa.gov for more information. In other news, gas prices in California hit an all-time high for the fourth day in a row Tuesday, October 9th. AAA put the statewide average price of unleaded regular at $4.67 a gallon. Experts were predicting a fall in gas prices across the state. However, two California senators are calling for a federal investigation. In our News in Depth segment this week, Jack Basso, AASHTO's Director of Program Finance and Management, tells Transportation TV why he considers MAP-21, Moving Ahead for Progress in the 21st Century Act, a, quote, stunning success, despite the fact that the legislation falls short of the $500 billion six-year proposal many transportation advocates, including AASHTO, agreed was necessary to maintain and modernize the nation's aging transportation systems.
The reality was, though, we had a bankruptcy in the Highway Trust Fund, and we have had that bankruptcy ongoing since 2008. So the alternative to that for a program that works on its user fees is to reduce the program. And part of that represented the House's view that we should reduce the program 35% from where we are today. So MAP-21 to me was a stunning success in being able to hold our ground on funding, convince the Congress to transfer an additional $20 billion from the general fund to make that possible over 2 years. And as to Mr. Oberstar's bill, it would have been wonderful to have a $500 billion bill, but the revenue potential there was just non-existent. And I think when the Titanic is going down, you need to make sure you're bailing.
Basso says MAP-21 guarantees roughly $40 billion for highway programs and $11 billion for transit programs for fiscal years 2013 and 2014. And Basso says MAP-21 also opens the door to new sources of revenue. For the first time ever, states now have the authority to toll interstate highways.
This law provides the opportunity to add new capacity to the system and to do that via tolling on the system. Now, it does have some restrictions. It requires that the ratio of free lanes to tolled lanes has to remain the same. So if you do an example of a 3-lane facility, you're adding a fourth, you can toll that fourth, but not the other 3. So, I mean, so that relationship is there, but it's a breakthrough versus the 4 or 5 pilots we had in the past.
And Basso says states can now convert free HOV lanes into toll lanes.
One of the things that's coming into its own are high occupancy toll lanes or hot lanes, becoming very popular across the country. This bill actually provided the authority to convert what are currently high occupancy vehicle free lanes to high occupancy toll lanes unrestricted. In other words, the states can make that decision.
And Basso says all state DOTs will have the opportunity to leverage additional federal funding through the Transportation Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act program, which has grown from $122 million annually to $750 million in FY 2013 and $1 billion in FY 2014.
The leverage that we can get from doing those kinds of TIPIA loans and arrangements is generally estimated conservatively to be 10 times the appropriated amount. So we think we can actually finance up to $18 billion in projects. You think about adding $18 billion in construction projects, particularly given the state of the construction industry, that will be a massive infusion and very, very helpful to jobs and to economic activity in almost every state.
Facing declining revenues and tight budgets, Basso says state DOTs need these new options to fund projects to relieve traffic congestion, reduce greenhouse gases, and make travel more efficient. In part 2 of our interview next week, Mr. Basso discusses MAP-21 reforms, and he tells us what lies ahead if Congress fails to act before MAP-21 winds down.
The way I've described what we did was a good thing. We went to death row and we took the prisoner off death row and gave him a stay of execution for 2 years.
And finally this week, more than 300,000 online votes are now counted in America's Transportation Awards People's Choice Competition. Learn about the projects and cast your vote today at www.americastransportationaward.org. That's the Transportation TV News Update. Thanks for watching.